My name's Josh Kirshner. I'm 34 years old. I live here in Arizona. I've lived here for 25 years and grew up hunting. My dad kind of got me into all that, hunting, fishing. I've been addicted to that ever since I was a kid. I was the kid in school that was doing like reports on largemouth bass and stuff. So that I've always been kind of drawn to the outdoors. It might just be because of where I came from. I lived in New York for the first 8 years of my life, and I didn't even know what a mountain looked like. I had never seen one before. So when I moved out to Arizona, it was just like this culture shock of, my goodness, like I couldn't believe what I would see when we would drive along the highway, mountains and desert and cactus, and I saw lizards running around. And so for me, Arizona is super special because of that, because it lit this fire in me when I was first introduced to it. But aside from that, Arizona is super unique from, like, we have these desert flats, you know, all the way up to 10, 11,000 foot peaks, and everything wants to poke and scratch you, and it's rugged and unforgiving, and there's water is scarce. But underneath all that ruggedness, there is a thriving ecosystem, and one of those animals that thrives in that ecosystem is a Coues deer. Coues deer are a subspecies of a white-tailed deer. They're unique to Arizona, a little bit in New Mexico and Mexico. Big bucks tip the scale around 100 pounds. It's a super small deer. They are wiry in nature. They blend in incredibly well with their environment. They're always on edge because everything out here wants to eat them. And it's a privilege to get to see them as often as I do. Hunting Coues deer kind of came about by accident. So we always wanted mule deer tags when I was a kid, but mule deer tags were harder to come by, and here in Arizona you can draw a Coues deer tag, rifle Coues deer tag every single year. So we wanted to go hunting every year, and the Coues deer tags were there, so that's what we went for. So you could say, like, I look back on it now, and it's like the Coues deer was kind of like the fuel that fed our annual deer camp. A couple names get thrown around for Coues deer. One that I came up with is the Houdini of the desert. Another one that's more commonly known as the gray ghost. And they call them that because they can disappear just as quickly as you found them. They melt into their environment. They're notorious for disappearing on folks. Mountain lions, coyotes, bobcats, doesn't matter. Like, everything wants a taste of a Coues deer. So when you see a big buck, you know, 4 or 5 year old buck, you kind of have to give it up to him, because that deer has survived 5 years constantly. They are literally constantly always being hunted, whether it's by hunters or by the predators that they share the hills with. You live a pretty switched on life if you're a Coues deer, and everything is about survival with them, and they are very good at it. Finding Coues deer is hard enough as it is, and then once you do that, getting in close to these things, Coues deer are so switched on, it's almost like they have a sixth sense. Their head's on a swivel, and the ground that they're standing on is incredibly loud. So it's like everything's working against you to spot and stalk a Coues deer. You should fail. You should, like, the odds are in the Coues deer's favor 100%. And that is what is so hard about spot and stalking them with a bow. So I remember being younger and sitting there with my best friend talking about bow hunting, and we were both just really diving into bow hunting and deer hunting especially. And our frustration with hunting Coues deer with a bow was endless. Like, a lot of times we didn't even know what happened, like, which led us to believe that Coues deer almost had like a sixth sense. And for the longest time, both of us, we kind of swore off hunting Coues deer with a bow. And it was like, we're hunting mule deer. They are way easier to spot and stalk. And those Coues, man, they're small anyways, you know. But after so many years of doing that and hunting mule deer with a bow, which I love to do, the images that I saw in my past of big Coues bucks doing their thing, those images were just burned into my memory. And they call them the gray ghost, and they just haunted me. Seeing these big Coues bucks in my mind. And because of that, I inevitably ended up just being drawn back to the Coues deer. For the past couple of years, I've just been totally addicted to hunting them with archery equipment. So when I was a kid and I found myself looking down upon the Coues deer, I think that was probably because I just really didn't know what was in front of me and how unique this animal was to the place that I call home. But once I realized that and I got older, now at 34 years old, I kind of find myself looking up at them.